Hello everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies. And today we're going to be reviewing Moana 2, the sequel to one of Walt Disney Animation Studios' most well-known movie from the 2010s. Right now I'm going to have some information up on screen for you to read, like director, runtime, and PAA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on Moana 2. But without further ado, let's get right in to the pros. Alright, starting off, I gotta say that the animation in here is pretty good now. That can be said for basically a lot of the modern day Walt Disney Animation Studio movies because 3D animation has really evolved since we had it in like the late 70s, early 80s, and especially with that first Toy Story movie in 1995, 30 years ago. But I can say here that Moana 2 especially looks really good, especially with some of like the storm sequences that we get in this movie, particularly towards the end of the movie. But yeah, I do really like the animation of this movie, although yeah, that can be applied to, again, a lot of the modern 3D animated movies, not just from Walt Disney Animation, but also from Pixar and Illumination and DreamWorks and all these other animation studios. Also, we'll go ahead and praise like the sister relationship between Moana and her younger sister, which I can't remember the name of from the top of my head. But yes, this time around, Moana does have a younger sister, and I do like the relationship that they have in the movie, like establishing like the bond with one another, and this little sister feeling sad that Moana has to go on this journey that could save her island. But yeah, I felt like that was done really well. I just kind of wish that we got a little bit more of that because I feel like that was truly like one of the strongest parts of this movie. You also got a pretty good cast of characters in here. You of course have Moana and Maui, who again do a pretty good job in this movie, especially Maui. That is mainly due to his voice actor, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because I do like that actor, and I do like that he's leaning more into some serious Oscar-worthy work, like The Smashing Machine with A24. But I also did like, again, like Moana's older sister in here. I thought she was pretty good in there, but really the cast of characters that go on this journey with Moana and like this boat crew was pretty good. You got like this person who was like trying to make constant repairs to fix this canoe. You also got this Maui fanboy, and you had like an old man farmer, which that old man farmer probably had to be my favorite of the Moana crew in here, just because yeah, I thought he was some of the funniest parts of this movie, like not wanting to be part of this adventure. This movie also had some decent musical numbers in here. I'm just not really that big of a fan of that type of stuff. If it's done effectively, I'll let it slide, but here, it was just decent, alright. The best song that could come out of this movie is once again Dwayne Johnson and Maui's song in here, which is called Can I Get a Chihu? And that had to be like the best song in the movie because some of the others were like alright in my opinion, not playlist worthy. And I will say that the first couple of minutes of the movie before Moana goes on this adventure was pretty solid and had me thinking that this would be a pretty good movie because I went into this movie with low expectations. But yeah, I felt like that this movie had a promising start to where this would be a pretty good movie by the end of the movie. And unfortunately, I kind of feel like that the peak of Moana 2 was I like that first few minutes of the movie, like first 10-20 minutes, and also that final battle as well, because that was just awesome to see. But honestly, I had little to no interest in Moana 2. Not only did I not remember much from the original Moana movie, but the trailers had nothing to interest me in the movie. But I watched it and I had low expectations, and I will say it was decent, alright. I enjoyed aspects of this movie, but there's just some things that held it back from being a good movie. So let's just get into the cons. Now there are some things that I kind of mentioned in the pros, like the middle school numbers in here were all right. I kind of wish that we got more of the sister dynamic between Moana and her younger sister, but there are just some other things that kind of held this movie back from being good. I mean, for one, you had like this character that again I don't remember that character's name, but I'll have a picture of it up on screen. And yeah, I kind of felt like that she would be the villain of this movie based on like how she was portrayed in the movie. I felt like that she would end up being the villain. We only get like one scene of her in this movie where it's a musical number, and then we forget about that character until the mid-credit scene of the movie. Like, I felt like that she should have been in more of the movie because you only include her once in this like musical number, and you kind of forget about her towards the later half of the movie. Like, you do not bring that character up, like, not even Moana does. And moving into that, the post-credit scene in here kind of was, I don't really know what to say. It was kind of like that character that basically Disney forgot about and went ahead and met up with like this god who was like trying to stop Moana's crew from pulling up an island from the ocean to reunite her people. And I feel like that it was basically the biggest non-Marvel tease for a sequel. I know we had some of that with like the Lightyear post-credit scene where I was actually excited to see where they could have gone with the second Lightyear movie with Emperor Zurg, or I should say older Buzz, but I felt like that here, it was basically a gimmick to say like, hey, this guy could be the main villain for Moana 3. If you show up and make this movie money, you could see the continuation of that story. And this movie made $1 billion. It is highly likely we could get Moana 3 and the post-credit scene could be paid off, but I just really wasn't a fan of that post-credit scene. I will say that a post-credit scene like Captain America Brave New World or even Morbius was better than this post-credit scene just because I felt like it was basically a big Marvel gimmick. And there were some parts in this movie that started having me lose interest in the movie. Like, there were a few of those in this movie, at least through my own opinion. But really, this movie isn't really bad at all. It's just decent at best to where, yeah, I did slightly enjoy this movie and would not mind watching this again, but I probably don't think I would watch Moana 2 again just because I just did not really like the movie all that much. I still thought it was decent though, but it's probably one that I would not watch again, like every now and then. Maybe like once, maybe every now and then I could put this on, but just this one just really kind of wasn't it for me, but still decent though nonetheless. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give Moana 2 3.5 stars, with the score out of 10 being 7 out of 10, with the percentage being 70%, with a grade of C-, with my final verdict being a decent surprise. But that was my review for Moana 2. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on this movie? Go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the comment section. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. And have a great day.